I kind of want to spend just a little bit of time going through what's the purpose of this playlist. So let's talk about benefits of chunking this information. Instead of taking an entire 34 minutes to explain it, we're going to start to break it down further into smaller chunk size, bite-sized pieces. So one, enhanced comprehension. Breaking information into smaller, manageable chunks helps students better understand and retain the material. It prevents cognitive overload and it allows for deeper processing of each segment. So one of the things I learned as an instructor in the public arena was that we were still expected as food service, food protection managers, and trained professionals to teach this information in a home ec style kitchen. When I went to culinary school in high school, we had a culinary program, and it was a brand new school, and they built $1 million state-of-the-art kitchen. I mean, this was way back when induction first came out, and it was very, very expensive to buy. We had gas ranges. We had a full commercial kitchen to practice out of and to learn from. And so a lot of classrooms today are not set up like that. And so it's hard to teach safety and sanitation principles in your labs when you don't have the proper equipment to train on, okay? And so breaking this content down allows for students to try to understand the material better versus trying to understand it as a whole all at once. The second thing that we've noticed is improved memory retention. Okay, research shows that people remember information more effectively when it is presented in smaller chunks. This approach aligns with the brain's natural ability to process and store information in short-term memory before transferring it to long-term memory. Number 3, increased engagement. Smaller segments of information can be more engaging for students, keeping their attention and their focus. This is particularly useful in maintaining interest and motivation, especially for younger learners or those who have a shorter attention span. I think one of the main things that I learned when I was a teacher was that students, when you put them in a block schedule, you got to tailor it around that schedule, and you can't just try and shove an hour's worth of information down their brains, right? I mean, they're just not, as humans, we're not meant to learn that way. So you have to break it down into smaller pieces of information to not just keep the interest, but to also motivate them as they're trying to learn to understand it. I think they say about a minute, the attention span is about a minute to 2 minutes per age. So if they're 14, they have a 14 to 28 minute attention span. Number 4, facilitated differentiation, okay? Chunking information allows educators, such as yourself, to tailor instruction to meet the diverse needs of your students. It makes it easier to provide additional support or enrichment for different learners, ensuring that students can grasp the core concepts. Number 4, better time management. By organizing content into smaller chunks, educators or students can be more effective at managing their time, ensuring that each lesson is concise and it's focused. Number 6, simplified assessment. Chunking information helps in creating formative assessments that are focused on specific, smaller parts of the lesson. This makes it easier to gauge students' understanding and provide timely feedback. Number 7, promotes active learning. When information is presented in smaller bites, it encourages active participation and interaction from students. I want to pause there for a second, because one of the hardest things that we have as instructors when I was actually in the classroom with 41 students to my name was trying to keep their attention off their cell phones and on the screen or the information I was presenting. So this allows for that, and it promotes active learning. Students can discuss, they can analyze, apply each chunk of information before moving on to the next. This fosters a more interactive and dynamic learning environment. It's also key to reinforce a lot of these principles. Every Thursday and Friday we cooked when I was a teacher in the classroom. We did labs, and I would reinforce the information they learned during Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Supports scaffolding. Okay? Chunking is a key component of the scaffolding teaching strategy, where complex information is broken down and presented in structured manner. This helps build on prior knowledge and gradually increases the difficulty level as students become more confident and competent. Number 9, encourages self-pacing. Students can process and learn at their own pace, revisiting chunks of information as needed. The self-paced learning approach can be particularly beneficial in accommodating different learning styles and speeds. Okay, that's the beautiful thing of recording this content on this page. As long as it sits on my channel, it will be here whenever you want to access it. And the last one, facilitates review and revision. Smaller chunks of information makes it easier for students to review and revise the material. They can focus on specific areas where they need improvement without feeling overwhelmed by the entire lesson content. I know what that's like. I know what it's like when I first started this information, first started learning this. I had the opportunity to do this in college, and I said no to it when it came to getting my food service protection manager. And I said no. I said no. I didn't think I needed it. For the direction I was heading in, I wasn't going in industry. My goal was to go private. And so for many years, I didn't need it. Working on yachts and working in homes for, business executives, I didn't need a ServSafe training guide. But I definitely know what it was like when I was becoming a teacher and going through all the parameters of getting that all set up. There were a lot of things that I wish I learned in industry that would have helped me on the tests. And chunking, having a place where I could get smaller pieces of the same content, no matter how long it might have taken. It might have taken me a little bit longer, but chunking it down definitely benefits students because it's not overload. And we know what overload is like when we have students in the classroom.